It's definitely one we're gonna react to. 20 interesting Mandela effects, my nigga.
Hey, Ariel
Can't wait
here
for
for
the
the Book of Alice
reactions.
channel.
Oh my
Hope you guys are
god!
having a good day so far or
Well, damn,
night.
was that loud?
Hopefully
Oh
this
my
half
god!
hour or so is able to distract you. Today we go over
down.
20 interesting Mandela effects that I found across the internet, ranging from cartoons to brand names and their weird details. Stick around to find out if you remember any differently. If you enjoy watching contents like this, consider subscribing and following me on my Instagram and my Twitter. Without further ado though, let's get into these entries. SpongeBob character designs. I found this one on
SpongeBob
Reddit,
character
posted by
designs.
Skylanders Kirby about a month
Wait,
ago,
what?
regarding Mr. Krabs and a detail about his character design surrounding his eyelid or eyes. Now, go ahead and picture him in your head. Do you remember Mr. Krabs simply having eyelids, or does he also have pronounced eyelashes? Well, apparently, he
Eyelids?
does have eyelashes, which has
Yeah,
astounded
I
some
always knew
people
he had
who
eyelashes.
remember Mr. Krabs only having eyelids that would cover the top portion of his eyes, but this isn't the case in most of the episodes he's depicted in. These three little eyelash things have always been on there. Another Mandela
what the
effect
fuck?
regarding the animated series points to Sandy Cheeks and
Wait,
her character.
nah, what the fuck, bro? I've always knew those eyelashes were there, bro. No shot, niggas just have no awareness, bro. Like I always knew. I was gonna look it up, like fuck it.
Specifically, an object on her person that people vividly remember. That's
What?
being a white backpack, presumably being her oxygen tank. As she is a
I
squirrel
ain't gonna
living in
lie,
the ocean,
I never
she
seen an
needs to
oxygen
breathe, of
tank
course.
either.
But
This
isn't
video
the
kind of
case,
trash
as
already.
throughout her numerous appearances, she is never shown sporting a white backpack or anything
I don't know.
else on
Maybe
her
niggas
back
are just
that
seeing
would
things now.
appear to be an oxygen
Because
tank.
this is crazy.
Do any of you guys strongly recall this feature on her character? Or maybe you remember them being shown a certain way at least once and have evidence. Kanye West's album.
Oh,
This one
God.
pertains to legendary producer and writer Kanye West and his sophomore album Late Registration, which is personally my favorite out of his discography. The Reddit post bringing this up 6 years ago states, I distinctly remember Kanye West's album cover for Late Registration. The bear looked straight at me in the original, or in my version of the album cover.
See, now that's something I think I kind of
As
remember.
of now, the bear's looking off to the side, and it has this weird kind of distorted look on its face. A similar look that I can see with the Mona Lisa painting. The face just looks off, like a glitch or something. Maybe artists from the past or the other dimensions / timelines understood a method of drawing that we can't comprehend anymore. Look, all of the theories aside, I know for a fact that the bear was just looking directly straight on the cover, and he used to have a mellow and humble expression on his face.
The bear was definitely looking
What's
at you.
happened? Evidence and music video. This entry is in reference to the broadband Internet Killed the Video Star music video, made in the year 2000. In the video, they make tons of reference to pop culture and media that were popular at the time. Eerily enough, there are two Mandela effects able to be found in this video. The first being the Pikachu one.
Oh,
Many
yeah.
remember Pikachu having a black tip at the end of his tail, although he has never had one, according to Pokemon history. But if we take a look at the poster behind the computer, there we see the Pikachu that so many remember. The second Mandela effect found in the music video is the Britney Spears red plaid skirt mystery, as some remember Britney wearing a red plaid skirt in her Hit Me Baby music video. You know, the one where she dresses up as a schoolgirl? Apparently, it was never red, but actually just black. Though this music video from the year 2000, the parody cartoon of Britney Spears, is sporting a red plaid skirt, the way many remember it. Is this evidence or simply acknowledging that we have always misremembered?
See, I never pay attention to music videos like that. I just listen to
Squidward
the song, to be honest.
There's a scene some remember from the series depicting Squidward walking into the Krusty Krab and grabbing his hat from a coat rack, turning around in a circle, then
I ain't gonna lie, these SpongeBob ones are kind of trash, bro, because I don't remember that.
And exiting the establishment, poking fun or simply making a reference to the Simpsons episode Bart After Dark, in which Abraham Simpson enters a house and exits it immediately after spotting grandson Bart. This scene was used by many people online as a basis for reaction GIFs, where they illustrate people or groups backing out of a tricky, toxic, or alarming situation. But it turns out this scene doesn't exist. Scouring the internet, you only come across a few still images of Squidward leaving the Krusty Krab and Simpson GIFs, but that's pretty much it. Do you guys think this was confused with the Abe Simpson meme?
These SpongeBob ones are trash.
Both are pretty iconic animated shows. Or did this never exist in the first place?
That shit never existed, bro. I
The
swear to God.
Google logo. Look at every letter in the Google logo.
Uh-huh.
Do you notice that one is slanted upwards, possibly
Yep.
the letter E? Yeah, some recall the Google logo being as straightforward as possible. Simply the word spelled out with their iconic colors
Or
being their
niggas just don't pay
specialty.
attention. I don't know. Like,
Though
come
the
on, bro.
only time that this was the case was back in 1998. I wasn't
Damn.
even alive then. Yet I still don't remember the E being slanted at the end. But what do I know? I have faulty memory. Let's see how others remember it. Does anyone else remember
Niggas
the
just don't
letter
pay
E
attention.
in the Google logo having a horizontal bar instead of a slanted one? I opened up YouTube on my phone and the splash page had Google's logo, but the E looked different. I remember the E being perfectly parallel with the baseline the word is written on, not
No,
slanted.
I don't pay attention
Granted,
to
if this
logos
is
like
a
that.
recent
I ain't
change in
gonna
the
lie.
standard Google logo, I may have not noticed, as I used DuckDuckGo. I think most people just overlook the subtle details in the logos,
Right, bro.
although many stand their ground as to what they remember, like me, who grew up with the slanted E always being there, but never noticed it.
Right, bro.
The
I probably
oldest
grew up.
recorded
Not even probably.
Mandela
I did
effect.
grow up with it.
This one
I just
comes
never
from Reddit,
pay attention
posted
to
by
it.
user Anton61 3 years ago. The post states possible earliest case of the Mandela effect, recorded by Carl Jung. Now, if you don't know, Carl Jung was a Swiss psychiatrist and psychoanalyst who founded analytical psychology. Jung's work has been influential in many fields, even founding the theory of the collective unconscious.
What?
He believed that human beings are connected to each other and their ancestors through a shared set of experiences.
Oh, that.
We use this collective unconscious to make choices, even though we are not aware as to the reasons why. For example, the shared experience of people being afraid of certain animals. Listen to this passage from his book, where he seems to tell a Mandela effect type experience. I retain the most distinct memory of the mosaic of Peter sinking, and to this day can see every detail before my eyes. The blue of the sea, individual chips of the mosaic, the inscribed scrolls proceeding from the mouth of Peter and Christ, which I attempted to decipher. After we left the baptistry, I went promptly to
See, I don't know
to
nothing
buy
about this,
photographs
so
of the
they got it
mosaics,
on this
but
one,
could
man.
not find any. Time was pressing.
God
This was only a
damn.
short visit, and so I postponed the purchase until later. I thought I
American
might order the
Psycho,
pictures
okay.
from Zurich.
I'm not gonna look
When
at
I
the
got
rest. I
back
don't wanna
home,
spoil
I asked an acquaintance who was going back to Ravenna to obtain the pictures for me. He could not locate them though, for he discovered that the mosaics I had described did not exist. Meanwhile, I had already spoken at a seminar about the original conception of baptism, and on this occasion had only mentioned the mosaics that I had seen in the baptistry of the Orthodox. The memory of those pictures is still vivid to me. The lady who had been there with me long refused to believe that what she had seen with her own eyes had not existed. As we know, it is very difficult to
I wanna
determine
skip it.
whether
I wanna skip
and
it
to
so
what extent
badly,
two
bro, 'cause
persons
I don't know what the fuck
simultaneously
is
see
going
the
on.
same thing. In this case, however,
We're
I
skipping
was
it.
able to ascertain
Oh,
that
wait,
at
no,
least
so
the
I'm
main
sorry.
features
Oh,
of
sorry.
what we both saw had been the same. The experience in Ravenna is among the most curious events in my life. It can scarcely be explained. Wow, what a moving passage. What are your perceptions about this entry?
I
American
don't
Psycho.
really care about
If
it.
you don't know Patrick Bateman by now, you've probably been avoiding TikTok, as his presence and lifestyle has been memified and glorified by the Sigma grindstick culture.
Sure has.
This Mandela effect pertains to his infamous facial expression that he does, the "I'm not impressed" look. Well, some remember him raising his eyebrows and wrinkling his forehead when doing it, but he simply doesn't when rewatching the film. Take a look at people doing the impression wrong.
Yeah.
Though this one's a bit of a nitpick, and it's simply a facial expression, and those could change really fast throughout an entire movie. He could have done this in different scenes, or done it really fast, and that's where people picked it up, but I don't know. Now there are 3 Mandela effects affecting the game Monopoly.
Okay, let's hear it,
Many
man.
years
I'm
ago,
ready.
many of us here, including myself, experienced the
Oh,
Monopoly
is it with his,
man
like,
going from
hat?
having a monocle to not
Oh, yeah, his
having a
monocle.
Then a couple of months ago, auctions
I
appeared
definitely
in the
remember the
game
monocle,
for
I'll
the
be
first
honest.
time for some people. Auctions were always in the game for me though, but I have learned from being a moderator
What the
here
fuck
not
is
to all the
this?
Mandela effects affect people that experience the Mandela effect. Within the past few
A
days,
Monopoly
the
show would probably go
man's
hard, I
name
ain't gonna
changed
lie.
from Uncle Moneybags to Uncle Pennybags. This is my
I would
second
love to
one
see a nigga
relating
get
to
bankrupt.
Monopoly to experience. My question is, does anyone
Or
have
go
any
bankrupt.
theories on why there are 3 Mandela effects relating to Monopoly? A1 steak sauce. This one is in regards
Oh,
to one
God.
of my favorite condiments, A1 steak sauce. It's bussin' on a well done sirloin. Now, do you guys remember the steak sauce logo looking something like this with a dash in between the A
Yes,
and the 1?
bro.
Well, a lot of people do and are surprised to find that there was never a dash in the middle, but was separated by periods instead. Do any of you guys remember it this way? I don't know. This one seems like a simple mix-up for another brand name, but who knows?
Yeah, I got to.
What if the Mandela effect is an AI changing information? Is this even possible? Well,
Theory.
Project Maven was already being used by the military back in
Project
2017,
Maven.
which was about 5 years ago. The Defense Department's most prominent AI technology, Project Maven, was made to scan full motion videos and images from drones and other surveillance equipment to identify potential threats. Additionally, it aims to hasten the military's adoption of artificial intelligence. The
That's crazy.
Sentience World Simulation,
That is also
CEAS,
crazy.
Synthetic Environments for Analysis and Simulations, is currently being used by Homeland Security and the United States Defense Department to simulate crisis on the U.S. mainland. It can currently execute real-time simulations for up to 62 countries, including China, Iraq, and Afghanistan. Breaking news, census information, economic indicators, and real-world climactic occurrences, along with other military intelligence. And Google gave its AI called DeepMind administrative access to their servers back in 2016, about 6 years ago. So, all that considered, it seems highly likely that AI is more advanced than they're telling us. What if one of the many AIs that have access to servers and online information is changing information to test how the human population responds to it? What if the government or military is using an AI to do this in order to test their capacities or to test the limits of their abilities?
Is that the
to
Megan
change the
movie?
information and
that's
to
what's
sway
fun.
the perception of the masses. For those that don't think that the government or
Chucky,
military
wannabe.
would orchestrate a project that malicious, let's not forget about Operation Northwoods, Project MK Ultra, Operation Mockingbird, and the Tuskegee experiments. Missing
MK
FNAF
Ultra.
scene. Five Nights at Freddy's is one of the most iconic games on the internet, created by
I
Scott
think I already know this
Cawthon.
one.
He would develop a cult fan base.
It's just
for the series.
unused.
This entry is in
Unused,
regards to an
shit in
infamous
the game.
screenshot from the game.
Oh yeah,
that many
this.
have investigated
This.
and found that it was never in the game.
Yeah, it
nor
was
in
just
the
unused.
trailers, as some like to argue. The image presents all three characters, Freddy, Chica, and Bonnie, staring menacingly at the player.
See, this
Though
is the
something
Mandela
looks
effect.
completely
It was
off.
in a trailer,
People
bro,
claim
but it
to
was
have
just
seen this shot while
unused.
playing the game, but
It was just
internet investigators
unused.
decided to go through all the builds and textures in game and found nothing similar. There's no move or action you could do to make this screen pop up.
It was just
Do any of
unused.
you remember this screen?
It was literally
Ariel
in the
the
trailer. It was
Mermaid
just
character
unused.
design.
I remember that.
Some remember that Ariel in Disney's The Little Mermaid was wearing two starfishes as her top.
Okay,
When
now this
user
is
even
crazy.
Stated, I even remember watching the video
I
of
don't
the dude
remember this.
saying that the starfish have their mouths on the underside. So when Ariel has her bra on, the starfish's mouths were on her you-know-whats. I don't know, maybe it's just us. Just want to know if you
I
guys
don't remember this at
her
all,
having
bro. I don't even remember what the
starfishes
fuck
as
she
the top
is
two.
wearing.
To be honest, I don't recall them ever being starfishes, but maybe some of you do. I remember them
No
being
one
purple
does. I don't.
seashells, if anything.
Right, bro.
But it depends on the version you watched. Funny enough, while finishing the entry, I came across the post this person is most likely referring
What the fuck is
to
this?
with 10,000 upvotes. The keyword is some. In this post, reading,
Nigga, she throwing
in some
music
cartoons,
notes at
mermaids
niggas?
use starfish as bras. Starfish have their mouth in the center of their underside. This is your brain on drugs commercial. I can't say the word because, you know, it's YouTube, but you probably know the commercials. They show an egg and crack it into a frying pan and say, "This is your brain on drugs." Any questions? Like this user states, watching the video on YouTube, they show the same scenario. But after they say, "This is your brain," they point to the frying pan and say, "This is the drugs." Then crack the egg in it. I definitely don't ever remember them making that comment in the middle. How about anyone else? One comment
wish I knew the
states,
commercial.
I don't remember it either, but they probably made multiple edits of it in different lengths. All commercials do that, but I don't remember the frying pan being called drugs.
That's
This
crazy.
person remembers it as, "This is your brain." Pause approximately 5 seconds. "This is your brain on drugs." Any questions? Exactly.
This is your
Even
brain
in
with
the
a side
movie
order of
documentary Have a
bacon.
Good Trip, this is the wording they use. Another reply states, I went back and watched the commercial, and it's pretty much how I remembered it. While I don't remember him calling the pan drugs, it's likely I only remembered the tagline. To be fair, there are variations of the commercial online. Different ones were made, with some even including an extended cut, though all of them refer to the pan as drugs, which does puzzle some people. iCarly's first episode. This one comes from Reddit and it states, being a kid when the first episode aired, iPilot in 2007,
See, I wasn't
eager
really
to
into
watch.
iCarly
I
like
watched
that,
the
so I really
episodes,
can't
which
make
is still
anything or
available
say anything
wherever
about
you
this
can
one.
stream the show. However, I have a vivid memory that at the very
iCarly is
beginning
just
of the
something I watched
episode, just
if
before it
fucking
jumped
like
to a commercial
some
break,
other show wasn't
there
on.
was
I
a
was
scene
watching.
with Carly and Freddie where Freddie went up to Carly and said something along the lines of, "Do you want to make outs in the hall?" After Freddie said this, Carly rolled her eyes or said no, can't remember exactly, and then the episode ended. As the years went on, with the reruns and now streaming, that scene is completely gone from the episode. I've never seen it again, except for the very first airing. I really don't think I'm imagining it, and I would like to know if anyone has a recording of the very first time the episode was aired on Nickelodeon, or remembers this scene as well. Thanks. I didn't really watch iCarly growing up, so I can't really relate to this one,
Right,
but it
bro.
seems
Well, I
from the post
watched it.
that a few
I was
people
into
do
it.
vividly remember this scene. One comment states, I watched the episode of iCarly on some streaming service probably in 2020. I remember the apartment I lived in that year, and I absolutely remember not only seeing this, but being surprised that I watched the show so young, and my mom
Mandela
still
effect weird
let
as
me
hell
watch
though.
it if they had
It's
comments like
definitely
that, because
something
my mom
that's
was so sensitive to adult
not a
stuff.
problem, but it's just
This
weird.
definitely was a real thing.
Like
The
you
Mandela effect
remember
and the
something
SpongeBob
vividly, but it
episode.
got
So I
changed.
remember an episode
That
from
shit is pretty
SpongeBob.
weird.
It's called Krusty Towers, and if you've seen it, you know there's one Krusty Tower. But I remember there being
Huh?
two towers joined together like a complex, and it makes more sense for the
So I
episode to
remember
be
this
called.
episode from SpongeBob called Krusty Towers. Hold up, I gotta at least know the episode they're talking about. Yeah. Oh my god. L spelling. Damn, he did another one. Krusty Tower episode. What is this? Oh, the hotel. I remember this. This was a good ass episode. Okay.
called Krusty Towers if there are two towers. Like, I legit remember there being two towers in that episode. One reply states, I just looked it up. You're right. The episode is called Krusty
Two
Towers.
towers? No, I remember
Interesting,
one.
I don't have a memory attached to this episode, as I have never seen it, but I will do more research on it later to see if anyone else remembers like
I
you
definitely
do.
remember
I will
one.
also ask my nephew. He's a SpongeBob fanatic. Green Lantern with white shoes. This one
The
comes
SpongeBob
to
ones
us
are
from
trash.
user Future Glow. Reading, I've
Wait, Green
always
Lantern with
remembered
what?
Green Lantern with white shoes
Green
until
Lantern with
today.
shoes. Okay,
When my
now
brother
this is
was
getting
drawing
ridiculous.
Green Lantern and he drew Green Lantern's shoes green, I was confused, so I asked him why he colored them green, and it turns out it's always been green and never white. I immediately checked the McDonald's Green Lantern's toys, and they all had green shoes. To my surprise,
You're right, bro.
I remember them being
This
white.
is now getting
Am I the
ridiculous. I
only
don't know.
one who remembered them
Niggas
as
just saying
being
anything
white?
for Mandela effect.
I googled and saw several toys of Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern, with white boots, and I managed to find one comic image of Hal Jordan with white boots, and a few other comic covers with other members of the Corps with white boots.
It's getting
But it
ridiculous.
is
I don't know.
definitely rare to see. A Bug's Life 2.
Okay,
You
but
guys may remember the Pixar classic A
I
Bug's
kind of
Life,
remember it.
though it didn't garnish as much attention as Cars or Toy Story, and
Nope.
for sure was on replay in my household growing up.
Yep.
Now, I do not recall this, but some remember there being a sequel to the film.
Okay.
Yeah, some remember
Okay.
watching A Bug's Life 2. Not only
Okay.
that, some recall seeing posters and advertisements for the
This
movie.
is crazy now,
Interesting
bro.
enough, they are working on a sequel as of now and are on track to release the movie sometime around 2023. I'm thinking some may be confusing the film with another movie called
Yeah, right.
Ants, revolving
Maybe.
around insects as well, though that would be a massive mistake as this one is not made by Pixar but rather DreamWorks. Zero changed from The Nightmare Before Christmas. This entry is in
What does that mean?
reference to Zero, Jack's ghost dog in the movie.
Oh,
Now, if you've watched the film, picture him in your head. What is on the tip of his nose? Leave a comment of what you think it is, if you want.
Nightmare Before
Now,
Christmas. It's been
do
a
you
good
remember
ass one.
him
So I've seen
having
that.
a round, red, glowing nose?
Okay,
nod
yeah.
to Rudolph the Red-Nosed
Yeah.
Reindeer? If he answered yes, you may be surprised to find out that he actually has a jack-o'-lantern for a nose.
Okay.
Yeah, he was never depicted in the film sporting a simple red glowing nose. It's never happened.
Maybe niggas
He simply
got
had a
confused.
jack-o'-lantern for a nose, and he was just chill like that, I guess. One
He was
user
chill
stated,
like that, I guess.
this is one of my favorite films of all time, and I don't remember Zero having a pumpkin nose. I remember it being a glowing red circle. I thought it was cool because it was a little reference to Rudolph. I think that it's possible that that detail is so small that most of us didn't notice it was a jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah, like
Plus,
that.
I'm sure
Like
we all
I'm
know
pretty sure it
Rudolph.
was like small as hell, like this. You would think it's like a red nose, bro. I guess that's where niggas got confused.
Which
That's like my only
think
answer.
that it's red and glowing. I definitely thought it was like Rudolph's nose too, but
Because it's like, if it's a frame like that, bro, it's always gonna look like a red nose, my nigga.
Coke Zero. This is one that has personally affected me, as I cold-heartedly visually remember the product and logo being Coke Zero, not Coca-Cola Zero, and I could picture that logo in my brain easily. But no, it has always been Coca-Cola Zero apparently. I found a post that
I don't remember, bro.
on Reddit
I'm not gonna lie.
This is another one I remember, as if it happened yesterday. When I would go to grocery stores or stores in general, I noticed the logo in front had changed to Coca-Cola
I don't pay attention
Zero.
to Coke.
I thought nothing of it. Just
Only
thought
like
of
Sprite,
it as a
no.
brand change, but it's
Dr.
not.
Pepper used to be good as hell.
I've seen a few people mention it, and skeptics try to debunk it.
Dr. Pepper
saying
trash now.
common things such as
Sprite,
it's a
where is
brand
that?
change.
Sprite
The
or
logo hasn't changed though. It's in the back in small letters.
No,
They're
just
referring
Sprite,
to
really.
this small
Sprite's
logo
so
near the
good.
ingredients on the bottle. That does
But
present
nigga been
the
drinking
logo
water
in
mostly.
the way that
Yeah.
many remember it, with the words simply being Coke and Zero. So we know for a fact that this logo did in fact exist, but it wasn't the main logo as believers recall. The post states that logo was only ever printed in a tiny space on the back where the ingredients and such are. We are looking for main labeling on the front or sides that may say Coke Zero. Never existed now, I guess. I'm just saying it definitely existed as a logo. Oh yeah, I don't think there's an argument of that. And no doubts you can go out and see it right now, today.
See, now, if
But
this
it's the
conversation was on
absence of the
Twitter,
main
these niggas would have
labeling
been
all
arguing.
over the front.
He'd be
I
like,
don't
no,
drink Coke
you're
at all,
wrong.
ever, but the giant 2-liter plastic
Twitter
bottles I
niggas,
feel
they
like
be
used to
wildin',
have
bro.
just Coke
They be
Zero
arguing for
printed
no
on
reason.
them when I was coming up. Not a 100%er for me though, by any
A
means.
nigga could be on your side now.
Judge
Yeah,
Judy
niggas will
Gavel
still argue, bro.
flip-flop.
So,
So here's one that some
let's just
claim
do it.
has
Oh, yeah, I forgot to check on
flip-flopped.
Hogwarts. 4 minutes, 6 minutes. Goddamn.
Term used to explain a Mandela effect that has changed multiple times. Back in 2022, there were many Mandela effect videos that were posted, and in those videos, I remember them covering the Judge Judy Mandela effect, stating that she never had a gavel in the show, although people remembered it that way.
Wait, what?
She actually does, and it has made appearances on multiple episodes. Is it a
What?
flip-flop or a simple mistake, though?
Wait.
My theory is that this was...
What's the Mandela? That she didn't have it? Or she did have it? And it just disappeared. I'm confused. Wait, go back. I missed it.
Judge Judy Gavel flip-flop. So here's one that some claim has flip-flopped, a term used to explain a Mandela effect that has changed multiple times. Back in 2022, there were many Mandela effect videos that were posted, and in those videos, I remember them covering the Judge Judy Mandela effect, stating that she never had a gavel in the show, although people remember it that way. Well, she actually does, and it has made appearances on multiple gavel. Episodes.
What the fuck?
Is it a flip-flop or a simple mistake, though?
No, this is a
My theory
mistake.
is that this was always the case. People remembered it because it actually happened. But
Right.
when the discussion of this Mandela effect was brought up, there weren't many people avidly seeking an episode with the gavel to prove it's wrong. What do you guys think about this one? I even remember it being an entry in one of my icebergs videos way back. And so I looked at the comments, and
It kind of just depends on what episode they aired, though. Like if she used, or it depends on the person, I guess. In the episode they watch.
Not sure if this is anyone but me, but when Mariah Carey's "All I Want for Christmas" first came out, I thought it was a cover of a much older song. A few of my cadences were different, which would be understandable if it was a cover. I knew I'd heard the song before, though. I thought maybe the original was Dolly Parton or someone sounding familiar. But no, it's Mariah Carey, and it always has been. Does anyone else firmly believe Mariah Carey's "All I Want for Christmas" was a cover? It doesn't feel like a 90s song. I'll give it that. It does harken back to a different time.
It doesn't feel like a 90s song because they fucking play it every Christmas, my nigga. Every Christmas that shit comes on, bruh. What the fuck? They don't let that song go, my nigga. They always playing that song, bruh. They always playing that song every Christmas, bro. Let it go, bro. Like, how old is the song? Let me see. I think I spelled that wrong. Okay. How old is the song, bro? I can't find it. No. 2012? 2009. It looks like 13 years ago, my nigga. They don't let this song go. It plays every Christmas. And look, niggas still commenting on it, which is understandable. I'm pretty sure niggas still comment on like old ass songs like fucking Gangnam Style or some shit. But they don't let that song go. I promise you they don't, bro. They do not know how to let that song go, bro. It's ridiculous.
Cover, and he's basically a walking jukebox. I'll have to ask him. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching the video till the end. I appreciate it.
Yeah, they don't let go that song, bro. Like they play it every Christmas. They're gonna play it this Christmas too, and then next Christmas, and then until like another Christmas song comes on. Unless they play LeBron James commercial. Fuck, what was it called? The Sprite cranberry shit, man. Yeah. Yeah. Let's play this. It's a good one. Come on, bro. They can play this every Christmas. It's a good one. It's the thirstiest time of the year. I like this one period. Want a Sprite cranberry? All right, that's it. Shit. That's it.